it's kind of interesting, is our rooms are not at all like a classical linear classroom where you have all these lines of students, because frankly, when people have lines of tables in the back, they hide back there. We call them snipers. They throw rocks at us. They're verbal, but they feel safe back there. And so, the point of it is, the first we always set up a room so we have access to all the students. No one can hide from us. So we put everything in inverse U's. So very simply, it kind of looks like this. The tables. You have the back table, side tables. It's a U shape, and but inversed to the front. But we set it up that way for a number of reasons. One is because you can't hide from the instructor, but it also allows us to be able to interact with them well, and I don't have to stand behind them, which a lot of people in public safety, in nursing, in mental health, in anything, they don't like people behind them. So I like to be able to get in front of them, so I can actually walk in the middle of the table. I can walk in and talk with them, and a lot of times I kneel down. I kneel down because I'm lower, but I'm not standing over them. Also, when I'm interacting with students, when I'm working with them, I can work with one at a time around the room. Plus, they see each other. The whole point of this is to create an environment where they focus on the team and not the presenter in the front of the room. I mean, the old school was, I'm the college professor. You kind of take notes and you just kind of sit there as almost like mushrooms. You're just growing there. We don't want to do that. We want them to interact with each other. So we set up the tables so that you have the bigger team of 8 people, but in that 8 people team is actually broken down into 4 mini teams, and we call them elbow partners. First, we show the Mona Lisa, we show the technique, we show the tactic, just show it so they can see it. The Mona Lisa painting. Why talk about a painting for a half hour and not show them what it looks like? So we show them what it looks like first, then we explain it, then we demonstrate it in action, and then we start practicing it. And it's a lot safer for a group that you practice it as a part of a small team, and so that's why one of the reasons we do it, so we can feel safe in that, we can work with them, and again, we can access them all the time. We have the different card suits up on a wall. We have that up so that we can actually have different groups. And so we do a lot of playing cards. We break up the groups sometimes, and so they have to go back to the clubs. You have 6 people, you'll go to the clubs. And so they're constantly being forced to have movement together, talking together, rather than just sitting there and vegetating. If we can't keep them, we call it entertrained. It's a term I got from Dave Smith, entertainment. We have to keep them interested. And so the more we can get them up and doing stuff, the better. And that's why we interspace our material together. So we'll have videos, on the wall in terms of a flip chart exercise. We'll have get up and do a physical activity like we do our proxemics. We mix it all together so that we keep them involved, so they're paying attention, but they're also learning. A lot of times we do things just one time. So the point we do something called a distant kneeling. Is that we just kneel down and we're talking to somebody, but we make them do that. So one time they actually practice doing it, rather than sitting there and oh yeah, that's what I should do, and they got it zoned out. No, they're always participating in it. We talk a lot about what we call the wow. We have the desks all set up a certain way. We have the desks set up in our inverse U's. It's all meant to say this. Somebody took some time to do this. But also when they come to the door, we always meet them at the door. And we say, we use a universal greeting, something they're going to spend a lot of time on. Good morning, my name is Gary. I'm one of the instructors today. If you like, I can show you to your seat. Would you come with me? That's a universal greeting. Well, we show them to do that, and we shake their hands, and we ask. I'll tell them, say, "What's your name?" And say, "Well, my name is John." "What's your last name, John?" Because we do everything in alphabetical order. Because we want to break up groups. See, another thing we talk about the tables, we do in alphabetical order, because very simply said, if you have them pick where they choose, they all sit together with the same kind of people. There's not a lot of interchange. We like to do a lot of cross-pollinating. So if you have a police officer sitting next to a nurse, sitting somebody from traffic enforcement, talking from a teacher, you get a lot of different points of view. And what they find out is they have all the same problems with different people. But it's all the same. Conflict is conflict. We've had numerous people tell us, they said, I couldn't believe how welcome I felt here. And so that if I have multiple instructors, the other instructor's going to walk up and introduce himself. I'll get up in front of the person, kneel down with them, and say, "Tell me, what do you think about the class? Well, have you had to use this stuff before?" "Yeah," and they tell me a story of a good use of the material. And guess what? That becomes a peace story that I can get them later to tell in the class. And they love doing that because they love to feel that what they have done is value, that they can actually put it into the class. And so at the end of the day, we ask them, "What did you learn today?" I think enough of you to ask you what you learned today, because I'm respecting you, but also we're developing a relationship. So they come in the second day, it's a different day. They now know what to expect, in terms of why we do what we do. So it's all to create that wow experience, that this is just going to be a great time, a great interaction, and I can feel safe here. We like to create an emotionally safe environment. They can feel safe so they can talk, they can make mistakes, and it's okay. No one's going to badmouth, no one's going to laugh at them, and we're just going to move forward. It's all about treating people with dignity and showing respect. And if we want them to do that, shouldn't we do that to them first? That's why the class is the way it is.